we're finally here. And those of you who know Micah and Carrie best know why I use the word finally. From the first time that Micah talked about Carrie, which was before they were dating, I got the feeling right away they were going to get married. And that was before they went out. He was so scared to ask her out. And I played some role in this because I had a couple extra tickets to a Bulls game. I had season tickets, and I took my family to a game, and I needed extras. So I bought extras. I gave him my normal seats and said, this is a perfect opportunity for you to ask her out. It's casual. You can go. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You got the tickets for free. You need someone to go. And he asked her out. And so I also got to see them on their first date. And Carrie, I have to say, you impressed me right away. Immediately, you brought so much joy and energy to the room, and I could see exactly why Micah talked so great about you before he even started dating you. And I knew right away that you two were going to get married, as crazy as that sounds. I wouldn't say I've ever believed in love at first sight, but vicariously through Micah, I think I now do. And you managed to pull this all off while rooting for the Boston Celtics. And anyone who knows how much I love the Bulls knows that is a very difficult task indeed. So now that you're stuck spending the rest of your life with Micah, I'll give you a little bit of the wisdom that I've had from dealing with him for the past 2 decades. We first became friends in junior high, sort of an accident of fate because our names were close in the alphabet. We sat next to each other in virtually every class. We had a somewhat competitive friendship, competitive over really silly things. There was a knot in a desk that Micah would stick his hand over, and then I would try and smash his hand, resulting in either hurting Micah's hand or smashing my own hand on the desk. I don't know who wins this game, but we competed over it anyway. We kind of had a hammer and nail relationship in our rivalry in different ways. The hammer has no rivalry with the nail, even though the nail wants to have a rivalry. When it came to school, Micah was always the hammer. He probably never knew this, but I was always jealous of him because he was so brilliant. I consider myself a smart person, but Micah, you could not beat him in anything, ever. I mean, it didn't even seem like he put forth any effort. Now, if we were playing video games, I was the hammer. It got bad enough that I would beat him using my feet in Street Fighter 2 in my basement. And this really made him nervous. And when he got nervous, he sweats. So, Carrie, when you guys have kids in another 10, 12 years and they're playing Street Fighter 15, throw some towels down on your couch. Because if Mike is not doing well, you're not going to have to clean that up afterwards. Micah can tend to procrastinate a little bit. You're going to have to deal with that. He was the kind of guy who took procrastination to a new level. I would do my papers the day before they were due. Micah would wake up in the morning the paper was due and turn it in. And yet he still always got a perfect score. We would laugh when the teachers would say, we know which students spent all week working on their papers and which did it at the last minute. And I thought, well, apparently you don't, because Micah's got 100 over there, and he worked on this for the hour he just woke up this morning. I've known for a long time that we would be best friends for life. And there was one point in particular, which is a big turning point for me in my life, and it happened in calculus class. When I was 17 years old, Mike was 17, we were in calculus together. And we used to argue about religion all the time. Growing up, I had a lot of negative experiences with religion, and Micah is the most devout person I've ever met, which made us somewhat of an odd couple in that way. And because of this, we had these long, drawn-out arguments over religion. And one day, he just tells me, he goes, the only reason I argue with you is because I love you and I don't want you to go to hell. And I've never been more ashamed and felt more selfish in my life than I did at that moment. because I was arguing with him just to get a rise out of him, or just to argue or do anything that a child who's 17 might do. And he was arguing with me because he loved me and cared about me. And I was very close-minded to God up until that point, but I've never felt close-minded since then. That was the first night I ever tried to pray. And if one day I'm in heaven with Micah, it will be because of him and because of no one else. And so I thank you for that, because you've made that big impact on my life. And so, Carrie, I know that Micah will always be loyal to you, and he'll always be there for you, because he was always there for me, arguing with me. When those arguments were painful for him, and when I was hurting him, and he was just arguing with me out of love. And so he'll put up with a lot. He'll put up with anything to help those that he cares about, because that's the kind of friend he is, and that's the kind of husband he'll be, and that's the kind of father he'll be. And so you have one in a million, and I know that you appreciate him. I know every time I've been with the two of you, the joy you bring to his life, the way he speaks about you, how much he cares for you. I've known you two get married for so long. I've pushed for it for so long. tried to help behind the scenes. And I couldn't be happier to be here today. It's been an honor to serve as your best man. It's been an honor to be your friend. And I look forward to the many years ahead of seeing you guys grow as a couple and everything that life brings you. To the bride and groom.